You know, it was never cast on stone that buns have to be round, right? So today I'll be making this bow buns. Let's make them. Hello, home chefs, and welcome back to the channel. In our bowl, we're going to place our water that is a bit warm, our yeast, and our sugar. And then you want to mix until your sugar is dissolved. We will then add our flour and mix a bit. You then want to knead this dough a bit before adding in your butter or margarine and your salt. This will give the gluten an opportunity to start developing before you add your fat. Here I was using both oil and margarine. There are times when I like to do this to just change the texture of my buns because the oil would make them extra fluffy and soft. And just like when we were making the donuts, you will realize that your dough will break apart when you add your fat, but and you continue just kneading, it will come back together and be able to have a very nice dough. After adding your fat, you will need to knead your dough for approximately 10 to 15 minutes until your dough is supple and soft. There are different kneading methods out here. This is just what I prefer and it works for me. So once you get a method that works for you and helps you develop the gluten, because that is the most important thing, you stick to what works for you. Also, allow me take this opportunity to thank everyone who has subscribed to this channel. We are at 112 subscribers. Yay! Thank you so much. I hope you love it here. Once our dough is ready, you want to put it in a bowl and let it proof until doubled in size, which will take an hour or two depending on the temperature of your kitchen. Once your dough is doubled in size, you want to divide it into sections. Depending on how big or small you want your buns to be, it will determine the sections you will need to work with. I ended up working with 6 sections because I wanted my buns a bit jumbo so that the bow is seen quite well. But you could make it into 12 and then there would be mini bows. Once you have sectioned your dough, I just like to pre-shape my dough in the shape that I'm going to finally need to roll it out in. And this for me is a small bowl, so you'll end up with 6 bowls, and this is because I'm going to be rolling out the dough into small circles later on. So this is just to help the dough behave the way I want it to behave later on. Once you are done with all the 6 bowls in this case, you want to let them rest for about 10 minutes. This will make the gluten relax so that while you are rolling out your bowl into a circle, the dough is not fighting against you. After 10 minutes and your bowls are relaxed, you will roll out a small circle from each bowl and then be able to cut it up in the sections that like you will see in the video, and then be able to form your bow from the different sections. If you don't get this on the first attempt, just keep practicing and you'll get better and better at it. I will do it twice so that you're able to see quite well what I am doing. That's the best way for me to be able to describe it. Because your gluten was well developed in the kneading process, you will realize that you will be able to do this design of a bun without any issues. In essence, you will end up having 7 sections, 3 on each side and 1 in the middle. The 3 on each side you will be able to place on top of one another, and then the strip at the center is what will end up being that strip that you see on your bow. And it's that just simple, just as I have shown you in the video. Once you are done making your bows, you want to place them on a baking tray and you will proof them for about 30 to 45 minutes until they literally double in size, and then you will bake them in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for approximately 20 to 25 minutes depending on your oven. For some people, the oven takes a while, so maybe 20 to 30 minutes. You just keep checking on your buns to see if they are golden in color and just looking nice. Once they leave the oven, I like to brush them just like all my breads and my scones. Brush them with butter just to keep them moist and fluffy for a while longer. And just like that, you have made yourself buns that are not basic. And just as we all know here in this channel, we like to make sure that we enjoy our time in the kitchen and make food that looks really interesting for yourself or your family. If you would like to see me try out another design for buns, just let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you do try out this recipe, let me know so that I know how they turned out. This will stay fresh and fluffy for a while. Do keep them in an airtight container just like the normal bread so that the air won't get to them. And just like that, guys, you have your easy bow buns. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the easy recipes. Look at how fluffy this is. This will definitely be a game changer for you. Till the next video. Bye.